Thank you very much. Echo. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I work just down the street, of course, and I'm going to be talking about HCI4D, ICT4D, that kind of area. It's an area that's relatively new for me. If you were listening to the bio, you'll know that most of my work was based around political technologies. In the United States, primarily. I started that work around the day that George W. Bush was elected. As a technologist, I worked quite a bit with a group called the Yes Men that some of you might know from their string of movies around identity correction and politics. So I've always had a very strong emphasis around understanding how technology reifies or changes power and political dynamics. And I've taken that work now with a more global perspective. So I'm going to just assume that this is a general HCI audience, not necessarily people who are involved in HCI for development. So let me first start by trying to make an argument for why you might want to care about this field, because my guess is, well, how many of you work in HCI4D in this audience? Okay, 2. Okay, so good. I'm glad I did this. Why should you care? And I've got 4 answers for this. The first one is that it is, it is definitely part of HCI. It's within the top 10 categories of Chi papers by numbers of accepted papers and similar by number of honorable mention papers. So it's thoroughly part of HCI, and I'd say that its relationship to third wave HCI is also quite strong. So this is, I think, in part because, globally there's a huge amount of work in technology to be done. This is simply brightness of sky, but it correlates with a lot of other things like network speed and the cost. It's black areas are higher cost for connectivity, even though salaries are usually much lower in the black areas. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of people who would be affected by this globally. So it's an important field for HCI simply because of the fact that the world is, mostly areas that aren't very well connected and don't have the kind of affordances that, say, Europe or Japan or the United States do.